Kravgi is a science fiction choose-your-own-adventure play.
Our hero, Anthony Tennant, travels throughout the galaxy making contact with new alien species with the assistance of his own artificial intelligence. So yeah, this is like the last mission before heading back home, and it runs into all sorts of complications along the way. Yeah, it's choose your own adventure, so you're only gonna see one particular scenario of many playing out.
Normally with shows like this, there's some kind of gimmick going on. With Kravgi, it's actually a bunch of stories, and some of the choices are done through improvisation and me and the audience member trying to sort things out together. So if they do a good job or a bad job, different things could happen. Not even good or bad things, like some of the good endings result from the audience member messing up and not knowing what to do. So you're fine, not too much pressure on them. I play Anthony Tennant. He is the only human crew member on the spaceship Kravgi. He's an intergalactic linguist, so he speaks a lot of languages, and it's also fun for me to just say a bunch of crazy alien gibberish and have that turn into a language. In fact, the people that I've gotten to play aliens on the big projector, they're the ones coming up with the alien language, so I just have to listen to how they're doing it and then just copy how they're doing it. And it's funny because how they're talking is done electronically, and I just have to try and replicate that with my own human voice, which is weird and funny and strange.
I play Owl, the artificial intelligence of the Kravgi. I assist Anthony in his travels throughout the galaxy, making contact with alien species. I give him advice whenever he needs it, and sometimes when he reckons he doesn't.
Which is a lot.
Oh yeah.
Owl is definitely the most important character in the show, which is strange because you aren't even on stage. At no point do you ever come on stage because you're, a voice.
No.
You're the most important character because you're in charge of everything. I have to memorize so much stuff, but if I mess up, you can, keep going because you've got everything there. You've got the computer, the script, you've got the audience member there that you have to manage and maintain.
In some of them, they're faced with like a moral dilemma of some kind, and then because Al being the artificial intelligence, he's not the boss. He's not allowed to make the decisions. The choice is yours, he always says. So it's up to the hero to decide what path is he going to take. In one version of the story, he might choose to make a more compassionate choice, and that might look like it's the right thing at the time, but then it might inadvertently lead to some catastrophe of some sort, or he might decide to be more ruthless about it. There are so many turning points, and each one can take you on a completely different path.
You get a different Anthony and you get a different Al each night, not because we're here and we're doing it live and we change just generally because we're acting live. The stories themselves change, and they change the actors and they change the characters themselves.
I think just about every read through we've gone through a different on a different path with a different possible conclusion. It's been really interesting to go through that, all these different what if scenarios. It's fascinating. Yeah.
And kind of annoying because there's so many endings and we have to rehearse all of them. We have to hedge all of our bets and tie up every loose end. Yeah,
because we've probably both got our little pet favourite scenarios that same. Yeah, that we're really kind of hoping that in at least one show we're going to be able to watch that play out live, but chances are it probably won't.
But there are times when things get physical and I have to dodge things, the audience member has to throw things around and do all sorts of stuff. If the audience member and I don't communicate effectively, the story literally crashes into a different situation and two stories end up melding together. My favourite conclusion is caused by the audience member and me stuffing up. It's like an accidental conclusion, and it's my favorite one. So let's see if the audience member can take the hint and stuff up, as I will try to. I think I'll try and do that.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
would
Okay,
be,
the interactive part is gone now. Never mind. We'll just control the story now. Forget it.
We'll manipulate the audience member without them even knowing.
They're plants.
Yeah.
We'll rehearse with that person and then we'll get them.
Yeah.
Little hints are peppered throughout the script, throughout the dialogue, that hint at what the proper choice is. This isn't a random show, and both of us give off little hints as to what the correct option is, whether it be about what a planet is like, what the Kravgi can do, what we both feel like doing, and what we both think would be pragmatic versus moral. The show isn't very moral. Like, you can make what you would think is an evil decision.
You might end up doing some sort of, lesser evil to prevent an infinitely greater one.
People die, and sometimes you can't stop that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's something else, sometimes it's many people, sometimes Anthony actively demands it to happen because he knows that overall it's the best thing to happen.
Yep.
And there are parts of the show that are quite funny, and given the fact that we have goofy props and I'm flailing all over the place, we can't really help that. But there are parts that are kind of dark. I mean, I die sometimes in very gruesome ways.
The path that the story takes is very much determined by the audience member and, in a way, what kind of person they are and what choice they would make in that situation.
Yeah, that's been my favourite part. You get a glimpse into who they are as people. A friend of mine did it, and he was just a total brutal coward who left people to die, and then he ran off, and, I was alive, but, he left a bit of... He left some corpses in his wake, but I was alive, so that was fine with him.
It's a character study of the audience member, basically.
That's the plan all along. Anyone who even has just a passing interest in science fiction should come and see it. Deep down, this show is a science fiction show, and of course we use props from time to time, but some of the time the setting is projected on a big projector screen in the studio, and I got someone to draw just great pictures of the situations that we're in. Like, if we're in space, you see the Kravgi in space, you see the asteroids, you see the monsters, you see the planets.
That's what's fascinating about the show, really, is all these possibilities. He's got the tough job of remembering all those little subtle differences and getting them right. Otherwise, we will very much be lost in
Space.
every way.
Lost in space.
Exactly.